Good morning, Bucknutters. It's Tuesday, March 14th, 2017. I'm Dan Rubin. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5 and Change. Joined as always on Tuesdays by Duane Long. Duane, it's a snowy, cold Gem City. I imagine not too different, a little bit down the road.
I was ready for winter to be done, Dan. I had 60-degree days. I got the door open. My dogs are running in and out. It's a beautiful place. And now I got snow. I got cold. I'm done.
Yeah, it's Ohio at its finest. 50-degree mood swings. That's what they are. 50-degree weather swings. Sick children. First four in Dayton. Standard this time of the year. As is chatter about your Buckeyes year-round. That's what we're really here for, people. I put a thread up last night letting you steer the show. Questions for Duane, and today we will talk to the people, Duane. So here we go. First question comes from young Alex Gleitman. It's a layup. Get your vocal cords working here. What recruit in the class of 2018 would get the automatic Duane Long naked jaunt around the neighborhood?
That would be Jackson Carman. He is so elite. The best tackle in the state of Ohio since Orlando Pace. I don't think anyone would argue that. And he's a need player. We got to get more tackles in here, Dan. We really have. I mean, when we were down to 3 healthy tackles at the all of last year, that can't happen. Not with a game so geared toward the passing game these days. And, you got to protect your quarterback. So we've got to get Jackson Carman in here. He is absolute auto naked jaunt guy.
I'm not sure if this is good or bad news, people, because I do think Jackson Carman is going to commit to the Buckeyes. So it looks like we're going to have a naked jaunt in our future again this year. Money Mike 94 checks in. What 3 recruits outside of the ones we hear about daily would Duane love to see in the class? That would be 2018. Duane, take it away.
One right off the top of my head, just recently saw film of him. He has not been on the radar for very long at ours. Dorian Hardy, defensive end. He's going to Paramus, but he has such a deep connection to Columbus, and he'll only be there 1 year. So we know they're going to try to, Michigan's got that pipeline going, but we might bust it here with him. Great looking strong side end. Love what I see out of this kid. Hustles, big, athletic, great looking football player. Love to see him as part of the class, and I think we got a shot at him. I would go with another one is Kadir White, another kid from New York. Paramus is in New Jersey, but New York with Kadir White, big tackle, got a really nice offer list coming. Georgia's come in recently on him. I believe he has Auburn and UCLA, but I have a reason to believe that if the Buckeyes offer, we jump to the top of his list. Big, massive kid that moves pretty well. Right tackle candidate, has some technique issues, but most of them do. So that's not a thing. As I said earlier, we've got to have more tackles in this class. I'm saying no less than 3, and I would take 4 tackles. As far as other kids that I would love to see part of the class, here's one that's just people are not going to know him. Brian Asamoah. He's a outside linebacker, safety, possibly strong safety type from DeSales. And I look at this kid and I'm saying, where are the offers? Now, Penn State, Notre Dame, and Michigan, according to 247, have offered him. He reminds me of Baker. He reminds me a great deal of Jerome Baker. So I just don't know why we're not paying more attention to a hometown kid that just looks explosive and fast and just a smart football player. Let's at least stay in touch. I'd love to get a report from Bill or Alex that we're at least talking to him. We're going to bring him in. Just really impressive football player for me.
For those who don't know, DeSales is a Catholic school in the city of Columbus, produced one Luke Fickle. So that is a local at its finest. Next question, another one from G.H. Buck. Oh, excuse me, not another one. This is his first one. We've talked about this ad nauseum. The most talented group on the team is the defensive line, and that their second line could probably start on any Big Ten team. Is the D-line overcrowded, and do you think the most talented will play, or are we going to go trestle ball and seniority rules?
I think that it'll be a mixture of both, actually. No, I don't think you ever have too many defensive linemen. I think you win national championships at defensive line and with quarterbacks, and I do not see it as overcrowded. Absolutely not. I think we'll see a rotation. I think keeping fresh defensive linemen in a game is essential, and Larry Johnson is probably just now completely happy with the numbers he has. So he can rotate, get his talent level up, so when you go down to the number 2 guy, you're not having a drop-off. I think he's very happy. I would be very happy, especially with the ends. No, I don't think it's overcrowded. I don't think we need to be trimming guys. I think we're right where we need to be.
Couldn't agree more on that. You can't ever have too many defensive linemen. Maybe there are some other positions on the team where you can get log jammed. I just don't remember ever looking at a football team and saying, wow, they have too many guys who can get to the quarterback and stop the run. So I think we're in good shape there. This is a great question, the second one from G.H. Buck now. Who will be the first-round picks from the Buckeyes next year?
Oh, wow. I have not really looked that far ahead, but let me think about it here.
I'll tell you what. I have the roster in front of me. I'll just shoot a name at you, and you can say yes or no. I'm warning everybody. I'm going to say names of guys who could possibly leave early. Let's not dance around a subject we all know it's not that big of a deal. Okay. Jerome Baker.
Oh, yeah. He would be one of the first names I would spit out on my own. Athletic guy. He's what the NFL is looking for these days. You've got to have guys that are fast and athletic at linebacker. They'll give up size to get fast and athletic. You've got to be able to play in the pass game. And he's shown, against the run, he can be a guy that you're like, okay, can we call timeout and get somebody else in there? I mean, really, he's just a smaller guy. But I think that I go back to the Michigan State game where we had a more run-heavy attack, and he didn't have a good game. Well, guess what? He got better after that. He really learned something from it. I think he took it personally, and he's just the kind of athlete they're looking for in the NFL right now. He could very possibly be an early entry guy. And I think he could possibly go in the first round, yeah.
Harris Campbell.
No, he's not. He needs to stay in school. Dan, we're not even sure about what position this guy can play. He is, he's a better fit at wide receiver. He's over 6'1", but he does not have the hands. And going early would not be smart. And he's not going in the first round. That is just not going to happen.
Michael Hill.
Michael Hill, you got to wonder what's going on. Well, he's not even a starter right now. And they say he's in the doghouse, but, I don't see he's a first rounder anyway. I got to be honest about that. I just don't. He's been a solid guy, and I'm glad we have him, but he's just not a guy that leaps out at you as a first-round talent.
Jalen Holmes.
Jalen Holmes, if he gets in the starting lineup, I think he could. He is such an athletic guy. I think he should be the starter. He has been so effective, especially in the pass rush. This is what I think about Holmes, especially if he's a starter. I think an NFL team would look at him and say he is ideal physically, measurables. He just needs experience. I'm going to snatch him before anybody else gets it in their head, the same thing I've got in my head, and I think he could go higher than what his production would say he should go. And he could end up getting in the first round, but he's got to be a starter. As a backup, he can't make it to the NFL in the first round.
Sam Hubbard.
No, not from what we've seen of him. He's going to play in the NFL, but he's just not been the impactful guy we thought he would be in the pass game. That's what ends have to do, especially edge rushers, weak side guys. They've got to impact the passing game, and he's just not been that. We've seen more out of Holmes coming off the bench than we have out of Hubbard. I don't think we'll see him in the first round, third round maybe. I just don't see a first-round guy in Sam Hubbard.
Jamarco Jones.
Jamarco Jones he would have been the second guy after Baker that would have come out of my mouth as a possible first-rounder. You know, there's an old saying with offensive linemen, if nobody's talking about him, that's because he's doing his job. Jamarco Jones has been quietly outstanding. You know, we didn't talk about him much. We talked about the right side, Billy Price jumping offside, and Isaiah Prince struggling mightily. Nothing about Jamarco Jones. Jamarco Jones was consistent all year, and I very well think that by the end of his senior year, he will be a guy that is in the first round talk at least.
Okay. How about Tyquan Lewis?
I just don't think he's a big enough kid he's not quick enough to be a weak side end. He's not big enough to be a strong side end. I think he's talented if he did have better size or better quickness, so he was more an ideal guy as far as measurables are concerned that he could be. So, I mean, he was Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, even though Malik McDowell was in there. You know, and we had some other good defensive linemen in the Big Ten this year. But he was Defensive Lineman of the Year, had 10 sacks. Very good football player. Somebody's going to get a really good player in the second round.
I'm making the choice here to skip over Malcolm Pridgeon and Billy Price. If they go in the first round, blame me. Next name. And I think this one's one everyone should keep an eye on, obviously. Denzel Ward.
Well, obviously, with the way our cornerbacks have been going off the board, I mean, 6 in the last 2 years, and it's been an impressive bunch, and he played well. He was playing well at the end of the year. We'll see if he comes along and is that next guy. It'd be great for this team if we had a situation like last year. We had Conley coming back, who's now in the first-round conversation. So we had one corner. This year we're looking to replace both of them. And hopefully Ward was just a guy waiting for his turn, and he's going to be one that steps in there. The jury's out on me. I need to see him in the starting role. I need to see him as an every down player before I would say he's definitely a first-round possible. He's definitely got the speed, and they're going to be looking for that. And he's got a decent size. He's not a small kid. So we may be, as you said, we may be in a situation again where we've got another corner who's leaving early on us.
I saw Daniel Jeremiah of NFL Network's updated mock draft last night. He has Conley all the way up to number 10.
Number 10, I saw that too.
Yeah, 3 defensive backs picked in the top 10. Keep in mind, Eli Apple was a 10th pick last year and got a signing bonus of $9 million. So what you're saying is, not what you're saying, what Daniel Jeremiah is saying is the Buckeyes' 3 defensive backs would get a signing bonus of a combined more than $30 million. People, if you don't think that helps on the recruiting trail, just go to Texas and Florida and ask for the Wades and the Okudas. But I digress here. I don't think the other guys on this list have a very good shot. That's Damon Webb and Chris Worley. I hope they prove me wrong. Let's go back and make sure we have all these questions answered. Obviously, we may not be able to get through all these considering we are going into such illustrious detail here. Duane, next question. What players do you expect to step up in spring and into fall camp and take on a bigger role?
Well, I think we got to look at the wide receiver in particular. I'm looking for Benjamin Victor to step up. He's a kid that has, I'm hearing just whispers about that this kid's really helping out. He's really going to step into the role. Another guy, they say Johnny Dixon's knees are healthy, and I was always a big fan of Johnny Dixon. Let's not say healthy, but they're as healthy as they've been since he's been here. And we need a guy to step up at flanker. We absolutely need that to happen. On the offensive line, Malcolm Pridgeon. We have to have him in there somewhere. Now, I think it's a waste to move him to guard. But, if you just go with the 5 best offensive linemen, hopefully Isaiah Prince is one of them. I am not one of those who says we got to get Prince out of there. I think Prince just needs reps. If he doesn't, if that's not it, then we'll put Pridgeon in there and find a guard. Guards are a lot easier to find. Those are the guys on offense that I'm looking at. Defense, we need a cornerback, and I'm looking at Sheffield at the other corner, opposite Ward. That's the guy. I think Akuda could. I think that he's going to play. There's no doubt he's going to play. I could see him playing a role both at corner and at safety. Maybe he's going to be the nickelback. Those are the guys on defense. We don't really need anybody to step up in the front 7. We've got there. We don't really have anybody there. And I think Jordan Fuller. I just don't think that the game has evolved to where coverage is so important. It's almost like you have 2 free safeties back there rather than a free safety and a strong safety. And Eric Smith is just not a great cover safety. Webb is just inconsistent. Too many times I look at a big play in the passing game against us. You see him as a guy that probably missed his assignment or just got beat. We need another guy to come in there. I think Jordan Fuller's going to be the one. I think he's just too athletic, and he's too good on the ball, much more than Eric Smith. Those are the guys that I've got in mind that are going to help us the most.
I agree with Duane, especially on the Fuller one. I'm on the Jordan Fuller bandwagon. We're going to have to cut it off there. I've got the questions from PS3 Brandon Gessig and my man Packer Buck set up for next week. Duane just killed us with too much detail, too much knowledge, too much wisdom. We appreciate it. Have a good one, Bucknutters.